A short while ago, you said that when I asked you this question about what are the things that you find is not good with the present government, you have reservations as far as the functioning of the present government. You talked about mining. Now, coal mining, illegal coal mining, which is still going on because we get on and off reports about tragedies taking place. It gets noticed and the national attention only when there are several deaths. If there are one or two people dying, maybe channels like us, we cover, but nobody else are bothered about it. But the question is, a lot of people will then ask you, you had also been in that position of the chief minister, you were also heading the government. A lot of people may ask you this question, what did you do to stop illegal mining?
You see, you will have to understand the whole difference. Now, when we are talking about the alleged allegation and the impunity with which the government remains to be in a denial mode, you have to understand from that angle. Now, every government has to respond to its call of duty. Government cannot behave as an accused when allegations are tabled before the government. So that is the difference between the then government and the present government. Now, why are we concerned about these illegalities? Because anywhere in the world, if any country has had a disastrous future, it was preceded by this kind of blatant corruption and engagement in that kind of blatant corruption. Therefore, correcting this whole menace, lest it becomes a kind of chronic disease and then the whole narrative revolves around, okay, what cannot be cured must be endured. We can't afford to lead the state to that kind of situation. Therefore, whose job it is to really correct the whole course of the march of the state to progress and prosperity.
Now, you had toured the entire state, surprised visits in some coal mining areas. We had also covered that. You found a lot of stacks of coal. Then you're saying that if the coal, if according to the court order, Green Tribunal's order, the coal which is already extracted can be transported out. But there were stacks of coal. You mean to say that those stacks of coal are those old ones which were mined long back? And do you think that's a reality? Do you think coal mining is still, illegal mining is still going on?
Not only your whoever was on the ground zero along with us and along with other friends from media fraternity, they have been able to capture the pictures on the ground zero where they are not freshly mined coal. So please remember one thing, the section 21, subsection 1 of MMDR Act 1957 is a cognizable offense. If it is a cognizable offense, whose job it is to take cognizance of? Isn't it the job of the government? So therefore, having not taken cognizance of these irregularities and this whole alleged irregularities and corruption, what is going to happen? So therefore, it has to be understood from that perspective. Why is it a cognizable offense? Why? Because a crime of this nature is not good for the state. Therefore, it is a cognizable offense. Now, if a cognizable offense is dealt with this kind of attitude by government of the day, then you can understand what is the actual magnitude of insensitivity, or are they trying to defend somebody, or are they trying to protect somebody? You have to ask the questions. The questions have to be directed toward the government.
So are you indirectly suggesting that there is a nexus between the coal miners, coal mafia, if I may use the word, the coal syndicates, and certain people in the government?
See, I have on a number of occasions, so also many other members representing various civil society organizations and public at large. If you go by all those write-up in the letter to the editor and other narratives which are circulated in the social media, an irregularity of this scale cannot happen unless there is a patronage. Now, if there is a patronage, whose patronage it is, which level? Who will find it out? So, whose job it is to really unearth the truth?
Is there any political leader in Meghalaya who should take moral responsibility for this?
The government as a whole. because government stand by the sense of collective responsibility, headed by the Chief Minister. The whole cabinet has to take collective responsibility towards this.
No, what do you want the government to do?
We want the government to come out clean and to ensure that come out with an independent inquiry. And this is precisely what we want. We don't want to jump into conclusion.
Then there is
but there has to be a sincere effort by the government to come out clean. Let there be, Agni Pariksha.
Then there are a section of people, including political leaders, who say that, oh, it's very, very easy to talk about, stopping coal mining. It's very easy to highlight the issue of illegal mining. What about thousands of people whose survival depends, whose livelihood depends, whose future depends on this trade? So would you say that this is also the responsibility of the government to provide them alternative means of livelihood?
See, when we are talking about coal mining, what is the actual mandate of the law? And also, the overall pronouncement of the Honorable Supreme Court. The Honorable Supreme Court judgment of the probably 3rd July 2019. What does it say? The Honorable Supreme Court has said that the government must allow legal mining. Nobody is stopping legal mining. But at the same time, the onus of responsibility of completing the whole process of legal mining in facilitating the mine owners, because in respect of Meghalaya, we have to understand one thing, that the land belongs to the people, land belongs to the community.
Right.
Therefore, the Honorable Supreme Court has come out abundantly clear on that regard, that the government must complete the whole process of facilitating legal mining, and nobody should come on the way of processing for getting the clearances of various statutory laws, or in other words, in conformity with various statutory laws to start legal mining. 2019 and today is 22, we are talking about 14th October 2022. Where is the progress? Now, why is there no effort from the side of the government to generate this whole momentum of activity for ultimately seeing a legal mining to take place? And look at the possibilities of reviving and restoring the opportunities of livelihood whose livelihood depends on coal mining, and at the same time, the precious resources which should accrue to the government exchequer.